Hi, everybody. So here's a quick breakdown of the course. I wanted to actually discuss this workshop very briefly in under 5 minutes because it's a lot different than your regular how to get ready for an audition workshop that others teach, I've taught in the past. This is really going to make your career as an actor and the audition process a heck of a lot easier. And there's a lot of elements in it that you're going to learn. You're going to learn what I learned when I worked as an actor in Vancouver, in Toronto, what I've learned from other acting coaches and casting directors, and from Halifax to Vancouver to Toronto. But one thing I've really learned, which will kind of encompass this workshop, is how not to memorize my lines, how to learn my lines and learn my character without memorization. And I was really, really frustrated for years because I treated my rehearsal process a lot the same way a lot of actors do, like an exam, like it was a book report. I would be very cerebral. I'd analyze every single thing. I'd memorize my lines. I'd analyze every single line. It would be in my head my whole time. But I always found it was difficult to connect what I've learned about my character, what I've learned about my lines, with becoming the character. There seemed to be this disconnect between the two. So I would spend an hour, maybe two or maybe three, memorizing lines, and then I would try to connect that with what I learned from the character. And it wasn't easy glue. It was like dollar store glue trying to fit together. But I found that there was a lot of actors in my life who were working full-time as actors, and they didn't have time to memorize their lines. They just somehow magically learned them. And I wanted to find out what that was and how that worked. And so I'm a huge fan of neuroscience, and I found out that there is emotional memory. And emotional memory is actually the strongest memory. So what happens is, when they did a study, they being scientists, probably Stanford's study, I'm not going to find the link anywhere, but basically they did a study where if you were a student and you were in a stressful state studying for an exam, when you wrote that exam, if you repeated that stressful state, you could recall more things than if you were in a different emotional state. And that's a little bit weird, but that is how it goes. When you are saving information, you are saving it in an emotional state. And the easiest way to recall it is in that emotional state. So I've connected a lot of things that I learned in acting from acting books like How to Stop Acting by Harold Guskin, mixed in with Stanislavski, mixed in with what I've learned from Judith Weston, and mixed in with a lot of acting coaches that I've worked with over the years. And I've created a very simple method where I simply learn my lines, learn my character all at the same time. It cuts my rehearsal time down in half, and I'm more connected with the material, more focused. I don't worry when I go into auditions anymore, and I don't feel like they're auditions anymore. I'm going there to give a performance and to be emotionally involved in a moment. And that's what you're going to learn. That's sort of the rundown of it all. And the first time I did this workshop, I trained everybody for the whole day, and then the next day so it was like Friday evening, Saturday, and then Sunday I gave everybody a monologue, and I only gave them 20 minutes to learn the monologue. I can't remember one person that wasn't able to recite that monologue word by word, no problem. But more importantly, and what casting directors are looking for, and what producers and directors are looking for, and agents is their performance was fantastic. It was way better than they've ever done before. They felt freer. They felt like they were in an emotional zone where they could take direction easy. Nothing was very rigid. They weren't set in a particular way. And so that's what you're going to learn in this workshop. I'm very excited to bring it back for a limited time, and I can't wait for you to join. And so that's my rundown. Please take a look at the rest of my website here, because or if you're not on my website, if you're on YouTube right now, go to youractingcoach.ca. It has a ton of free advice, videos that I've found, books to recommend, and that's about it. So thank you very much for watching, and if you have an audition this week, break a leg.